Yeet. Back.
Yeeters.
Back for more. Back for more AFK gameplay.
Well, if Ollie's Windows is not updated now, it never will. So I think it will be better, of course, for everyone who didn't see the first match between Dynasty and KV Mechelen. It was basically a 4v5 for most of the game, with Ollie having some issues with his computer. But I believe they're back now and ready for a real game of League of Legends against none other than Team Thrll Academy, who are this group's favorites.
Yes, Team Thrll on paper favorites, player-wise, but of course, you know, they got into the semifinals last week. They lost to Scuttle Squad, I believe, who went on to lose the finals to Starlight Gaming. So, you know, Team Thrll getting pretty far last week. Didn't do great the first week. I think they got knocked out the second week in round of 16 as well. Not 100% sure. At least, as far as I'm aware, last week was their best week. So, you know, they're progressing throughout these Open Tour qualifiers, which, of course, most teams will be doing. KVM, of course, right now, stronger than they were in week 1 as well. It's going to be interesting to see what KVM is going to be able to do against these Thrll beasts.
They are blasting off into the
music,
drop.
sorry.
What?
The music just blasted my ear off.
Exactly.
Yikes.
We're blasting off with music, with everything into this draft. Immediately taking away the Nidalee from Ollie. And if I don't see a Hecarim ban here again, then I just blame it on the previous game where, of course, he wasn't able to have a lot of impact. And the Graves, yeah, has to be taken out. QDKD lost the champs, played it to death, and it's not gonna happen this game. So we'll see who gets the Hecarim, because of course QDKD also a big fan of that pony. Them being first to pick it, they're probably not gonna ban it, and maybe just take it away from Ollie themselves would be a pretty good idea for them here.
Yeah, the Hecarim on both sides a favorited champion for junglers, as Twisted Fate is taken away. Kai'Sa gets taken away here from Mind Drago. Mechanics plays it as well. You know, he plays basically the meta picks with Kai'Sa, with Samira, Jhin, even Seraphine bottom lane has been played by him in the solo queue. There it is.
That's just such a great flex pick when you know that it's for 3 people, potentially. Maybe even top lane, however, does it get played top? I don't know. Probably can, who knows. Maybe Emmy will show it us first here today. Anyway, bot lane for KV Mechelen. Pisco staying with Thrll. Did a great job last game, nonetheless. Don't forget those sick engages from him. This time not paired with the Kai'Sa, but with the Samira, who is one of those champs that also loves to go in and do a lot of damage to a lot of people at the same time.
As Udyr actually gets locked in for QDKD. Gonna, of course, be into the jungle. Alistair gets picked into Thrll. Both very tanky supports, both very engage-heavy supports. Gonna be able to do basically the same thing on both sides. Interesting to see also is the fact that Riven has been banned by KVM. Of course, Emu loves the Riven, still plays it a lot. High mastery champion. As Talia is gonna get hovered by Ollie, I was thinking he would maybe go for Talia this game. Yes, Hecarim's open, but so is Renekton. So it is very much possible that Mortar is gonna go for the Renekton again. Maybe the Wukong, you know, with the Cyclone, Talia gets a free knockback from the Seismic Shove as well. So both are still possible. Shen, of course, with the taunt gives them a free. So everything with basically hard CC is a good combination for Talia. They already have that with Thrll, as... Okay, the ban does eventually come through. Camille taken away from Emu. He likes to play the damage-heavy top laners more than the tanks. But in their first game today, he went for Sion. So, you know, he can play basically anything as well.
Renekton is open, but also Jax is still open, and we've said it a lot of time. Mortar, we want to see your Jax. We want to see it being played here. Maybe we'll see it today. Not sure if it is the best champion in the meta at the moment. Don't see it that often here, and I'm a fan of the Talia because it can do so much. It can combo into so much, and as a carry jungle heavy meta, it is a great pickup for him here. Last bans are coming out. They are gonna take away the Azir from Henk, and the Orianna's still open. Potential great combo with the Thrll here, and we've seen him play the Orianna with great success before. So this is a good last ban if Thrll wants to hurt this mid lane from KVM.
Yeah, they could go for the Orianna ban. Definitely. Zoe been taken away, of course. Twisted Fate already taken away by KVM themselves. Azir now banned as well for, taken away from Henk. Henk is also, if they go for more mid lane bans, then Henk's, yep, there's another one. So Henk's champion pool gets narrowed down a lot. He still has things like Xerath, which, could basically be played into every comp. Just sit in the back and do damage. Of course, in pro comps, yes, a lot better. But in hard CC comps like with a Thrll, it could be interesting as well because you can do free damage, but... Okay, that's the first Corki we've seen.
It is the mustache man himself, the Corki, getting locked in there for Henk. And that means that he has a lot of pressure on the mid lane. Of course, picking the Corki before you see the matchup can be a little bit because, yeah, Victor, potentially scary Orianna, also champion Z, plays a lot. But to be honest, since Henk knows the champion in and out, shouldn't have too much trouble. It is eventually the Victor, and man, is that boy's burst so scary in the later phase of the game.
Yeah, it's so this also means, by the way, with Victor being picked up here, it's gonna mean that Mechanics is gonna play the Seraphine bottom lane, so as the AD carry position, because of course Alistair and Victor going towards the supported mid lane, leaving only one position open for Seraphine, and that's actually it kind of forced the Samir pick onto what's his face? Onto Mindrago. Yes, he probably wanted to play it as anyway because his Kai'Sa gets banned away, but he has a lot of other options there as well. However, right now with a lot of heavy engage, Samira is pretty strong with the Thrll and the Wukong, but now Gangplank gets hovered. Kennen possibly gonna be there. It should be Wukong.
He's going.
Okay. So basically, he hovered every champion that we talked about. We said Shen, Renekton, or Wukong is probably going to go into the top lane. He hovered all of them, and eventually chose to join the battle with Shen this time.
Mortar's Shen, solid pick. I believe in the second game of the Open Tour, they played it, and they won magnificently with it. And I like it here because they have a lot of threats. They have 3 threats on the team of KVM and a Shen to protect them regardless of where they are, which is such a great combination. Globals are always sort of OP on the Rift when you know how to use it and you know how to coordinate with your team. Because we've seen this before. A fight starts out some bot and suddenly 5 people are there for KVM Mechelen and only 4 of the enemy team. And that is because they all run the TP and Mortar picks it up when he has the advantage on top lane and gets there to extend that lead. However, when we see it here, I would not give this win immediately to KVM Mechelen because there is a lot of threat on the side of Thrll as well. Of course, Samira, I believe it was Phoenix from Iron Squad that said it first. She is turbo broken.
Turbo broken? Yeah, possibly. Maybe she's turbo broken. A lot of mixed damage on both sides. Quite a lot of AP on the side of Thrll with the Victor and the Seraphine. Victor gonna be a very big part of this Thrll lineup. Seraphine most likely going for the Moonstone, Moonstaff build even. Even though she's in the bottom lane, she's probably gonna go for that build, making it basically a support healing AP champion thing. What what? I don't even know what Seraphine is. AP. It does a lot of damage. There's so much CC. It heals way too much with the Moonstaff build. It's just too much, and so Victor's not gonna die. Udir's gonna get a lot of utility as well. There's a lot of engage on the side of Thrll, and a lot of CC. So for KVM, for the likes of Talia, for example, gonna have to be careful that she doesn't just get locked down completely.
I must say that Thrll is potentially making a mistake that KV Mechelen has made before, and that is putting their eggs in one basket. You have like the double support on the bot lane at this point. Udyr, that can be a threat, but okay, and Nar is also a bruiser tank in the top lane. Victor is the only real heavy damage dealer on their squad. If he can get focused down at the start or before a fight, then KV Mechelen has an easy win ahead of them. Because of course they have 3 threats, so you need to make sure that both Talia, Corki and Samira are down, and then it's safe to fight for a certain objective or anything. That means that they have big potential. They have the Thrll to engage, they have the Corki package potentially to go in, they have a Shental, they have all these tools to pick off a Victor who isn't mobile in the way that he doesn't have an escape. He can of course run super fast with phase rushes, Q, everything, But if he's picked off, this is going to be a super hard game for Thrll. So it's all on Z's shoulder here, and we're not saying that he can't carry it, but he has to carry it this game.
It's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. But of course, as we said, there's a lot of CC and a lot of engage on the side of Thrll. Yes, KVM has the same, quite, not the same amount, but has some engage as well, with of course the Thrll and the Shen able to jump in to the enemy's face, basically. Whereas on the side of Thrll, you have the Alistar engage, you have Mega Nar's engage, you have the Seraphine ultimate, you have Udyr running in with phase rush, by the way. So there's a lot of lockdown potential if the Alistar finds a knockup, followed up by Seraphine ultimate, and so on and so forth. It's gonna be really tricky if they find a good engage for KVM to actually turn the fight around. Lucky for them, however, as you said, they basically have 3 threats, so they're gonna have to lock down all 3 of them to eventually have no more damage on the side of KVM.
And that being said, we are entering in the Rift not with a pause at the start, but everyone nicely connected. They are running forward, probably both gonna set up a Great Wall of China in this second game of KV Mechelen's Open Tour Qualifiers 4 between, of course, KV Mechelen Esports Academy and Team Thrll Academy. A big game for KV Mechelen. Of course, they lost their first game against Dynasty, and this is a win that should go to Team Thrll, because of course they are the group favorites. But if they can sneak this win from them, KV Mechelen are back in a great spot to make it through these group phases.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very important game for KVM. Of course, losing the first game, well, basically due to a 4v5. Not going to say that they would have won it otherwise. Chances are that they had a much better chance of winning if they were 5v5, of course. So this is going to be very important. Usually, yes. If they, if they, while Henk is shaking his booty, twerking it up in the mid lane. Oh, and they're gonna look.
Asserting dominance.
They're asserting dominance with the Corgi booty, the Corgi, which, by the way, one of the funnier skins. I have the skin as well. As this is gonna be some cheese here in the bottom lane here by KVM. Gonna half HP Slimy Devil there. He's just gonna proc his aftershock, however, pop a potion, and he should be just fine.
Love the early aggression from KV Mechelen. Their bot lane lit super well in the previous game, picking up some kills in the 2v2. Maybe they can do this again, because it feels like Bisco has replaced his Leona with Thrll. He has a new love. There is mobility, there is super CC, there is tankiness. It is all he ever wanted in a champion in a neat iron package. So we'll see if he can engage. And of course, Ollie just farming in the jungle from the start. Nice change of pace.
It's looking good for KVM as opposed to last game. If you look at last game, at this point they were behind. Right now, right now they're
Exactly.
basically even. So there's only up from here. Oh, and they find maybe the cheese. They miss the engage, but then flash stuck. One more auto attack. This should be enough. I don't know if the flash was necessary.
For good measure, the flash there
for
for
good measure.
Mandrago, and they pick it up, so it's worth every step of the way in my book.
Yeah, the first blood once again going to KVM's bottom lane. This time around, Mandrago picking up the kill. Last time around, it was Bisco. So even this is going better.
And that's pretty crazy that they invade there with the two of them. I mean, Oli wasn't there. Usually you invade when your jungler has a plan. He's like, I'm gonna invade. Are you guys coming? No. Bot lane from KVM says, no, we're invading and you do what you do. We're gonna kill that Udyr. And they get the bear down. First kill on Mandrago, which is of course huge. Him playing so well in all of these games, especially with Samira as well, having a great performance. And the champion, not sure if she is still broken after the lifesteal nerfs, but she's still pretty scary just because, of course, her ultimate looks like Katarina. That's always scary.
Yeah, it's a big, scary champion once. If she does get the positioning right and if she can get the ultimate off onto 2, 3 more than 3 people, basically, it's a scary champion, that Samira. As we do see why Alistair gets picked into the Thrll right there. Thrll trying to jump in, Alistair just pulverizing, cancelling the Thrll engage altogether. And that's going to make it a lot more difficult for the bottom lane to find the engage, as now Thrll is going to come in. However,
there's Oli as well.
Slimy Devil still has the flash, is going to have to use it as well. Seismic Shove going to go wide, Oli going pretty low here, as does Mandrago. And basically only Bisco surviving that without a scratch.
And I must say props to Riot Games for the design on Thrll, because it looks amazing when like the transformation between her human and horse form comes in. Absolutely love it when that happens. Also, the sound effect is great to see. I've had so much fun playing it in Earth, just toggling it on and off constantly. It was good times for everyone except for the enemy, because of course Thrll OP. But
of course,
apart from that, good times. Here, the lead is basically non-existent at the moment for KVM, so it's still anyone's game, everything going pretty even. And now, of course, with the trade, which was favorable for Thrll, having the heals and shields from Seraphine, they are able to take prio in the bot lane again.
And with the invade early on onto Udyr's red buff, Oli was able to 3 buff, I believe, the Udyr. I don't think he invaded himself. Which gives Oli a slight lead on that side of, on the jungle side of the map. However, Udyr is farming it up pretty nicely, so eventually not really gonna do a lot for them. As now Shen hitting 6, as well as Gnar. So Shen, of course, with the Stand United, giving possibilities for bottom lane to dive onto the Samira. However, do you really want to dive Seraphine Alistar?
Well, you never want to dive in Alistar unless you're Vayne and you just have your guaranteed damage. In this case, that is not what you want. Mortar as well, playing here with the fleet footwork on Shen, which is just a great pickup against the Gnar, because you're going to get a lot of poke, and with your built-in damage negation and the fleet footwork, you're not really going to get poked out here. So it doesn't matter. With throwing away the ultimate just because of the cooldown not being that long, it's always worth putting some damage out. And that means that he is getting decent CS lead over Mortar here, but the value of Shen is not in his laning phase, it is from his ultimate, and we'll see if he can unite with his team soon, but that depends on Thrill's plays, of course.
Yeah, a lot of global pressure, of course, by Shen with the Stand United ultimate, being able to help out his team wherever and whenever. Well, not really whenever, because there's a cooldown, pretty long one. But wherever is the truth, as a level 4 Thrll is going to dive onto level 7 Victor in the mid lane and actually burns the Flash.
We said it before, Bisco, he is not scared of anyone. He will go in with 1 HP if he has to, and being level 4 against level 7 mid laner, that is just it's just straight up BM, to be honest. It doesn't matter, you go in, and that's props to Bisco as well. Well, Mindrago picking up some solo experience, making sure that he gets the carry, and he's still there, but now he has to make sure he gets out because there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he needs to be careful not to overstay his welcome as quite a lot of damage comes down onto Z. They need 1 or 2 more auto attacks to flash, ignite, engage is going to be there, and another kill for the guys of KVM. 0-2 right now goes to Ollie, who's going to be pretty glad with that. After an AFK, he picks up a kill.
Levels are no thing for Bisco right now. He makes sure that kill goes down on Z. And we said it in the draft, Z is the guy to carry. If they can make sure that he is put down in the laning phase, then it's a huge win for KVM. So the fact that QDKD got invaded early, he is a little bit behind, wasn't there in time to help Z, and Z falls as well. Those are really important pickups for KVM. And the fact that their 2 carries can farm pretty freely is, it's all going to plan.
At this point, KVM picking up the first couple of kills. 2 to be exact. And Bisco showing that his Thrll gameplay is definitely on point, finding engages, flashes, stuns where he needs to on the Thrll, which, pretty new champion. The second newest, I think, because of Viego. So, we haven't seen it that often. We haven't seen it a lot yet in any ERL, basically. Or at least not from KVM in this open tour. But today, it looks like he really wants to go for that.
Oh, that will be a dive on top lane.
Dive onto Mortar. He doesn't have his stun anymore. He's gonna use his blocky shield. As the teleport from Corki is gonna come down to save his top laner from going down.
It was important, but of course you need to waste your summoner for that, giving the mid laner some free farm as well, free push. Ollie is there to pick it up, but not really a good answer overall from KVM. On display, it is defensive, but still a win for Thrll here. So well played by them for forcing those plays. Of course, the question is, if this game gets to really late, who is in a better position, KVM or Team Thrll?
Ooh. Of course, if you have late game on the side of Thrll, there's the Seraphine and the Victor, which can basically... Victor can basically 1v9, with the Seraphine it's gonna be 2v9. Yes, that does make 11 players, but I don't care. On the other hand, though, you have the Corki, which, of course, into the late game is going to scale pretty well. Going to do a lot of AP damage with his passing there. So, in my opinion, actually, I don't know. It's going to be Corki versus Victor, basically.
Yeah, I feel like if you have 3 damage threats in the late game, that is more valuable, because damage scales generally good in late game on most champions.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there is a play coming. They are engaging.
A crazy juke there by Mindrago. The wall coming in from Talia. Seismic Shove gonna go wide again, as no one really finds anything there. But Mindrago juked the Pulverize, possibly on purpose, possibly not. Whichever it was, good job by him, as the top laner is gonna battle it out here, and they're jumping away from the third aggro, and now he wants more. He doesn't have his ultimate anymore. He's gonna take so much damage here. Look at Mortar. Just basically free damaging, but with the boomerang and the W procs, he should be careful not to go down himself here, as he decides to base, has his teleport up, and can just come back.
Emmy playing this matchup really well, putting so much pressure on Mortar, just dumping that Gnar ultimate every time, and this turret is gonna fall unless Mortar finds a cheeky taunt, but it's super scary, so he is wisely deciding to back off, let this fall, because it would have potentially been a kill and a turret, so not really worth risking that. Meanwhile, KVM on the other side of the map, picking up their second Drake of the game, which means that we are going to have a Cloud Rift here.
Mountain Rift. It's going to be a Mountain
Sign
Rift.
didn't change fast enough. What is this?
Psych.
What is this map?
So they picked up the Cloud Drake, which you could have seen. you know, being a caster and all that should be one of your strengths. Looking at, you know, the dragon.
I'm colorblind. Does that help?
But you're a colorblind
Haha.
color caster.
Exactly.
Oh, that's new. That's interesting. Also, they have shapes, so colorblind doesn't matter.
I'm shape blind.
Stop making things up.
As well.
That's not fair. Anyways, we do have a Mountain Rift here, which is gonna be fun for Bisco and Mortar. They're gonna like the extra amount of defensive
Engage is
steps
there.
as they look for another engage. This time it's gonna be on Gnar. TP is gonna come down. That should be Victor joining the fight. Emu Gnar gonna go down pretty soon. It's not gonna be Victor. And now the 3-man Seraphine ult. That's what she can do. They're gonna focus Cutie Katie's Udyr, however. He needs to flash away. And now Victor is there as well. Should be flashing over the wall, picking up Thrll. Might find a second, possibly third kill here as well. As Ollie should be able to run away. The flash knockup from Alistar is going to be there. Double kill for Z. And that's really good for Thrll that they find the kills on the guy that they need to find the kills on. As he now teleports to the bottom lane as well, making sure they don't take too much damage on the turret.
Oof, that was a great field there, and Mandago is gonna have to take the death here. That is just another easy pickup and a good play from Thrll overall. First,
Double TP.
Yeah, first a turnaround top lane with Seraphine ult, and then double TP bot lane, picking up the farm and the kill on a key target from KVM Mechelen, which means that they now have a 2k gold lead in this game. And a lot of kills on Z, and that is what you want. Z is gonna be the man to do all the damage in the world. Has picked up the Dark Seal as well, with 5 stacks now. That will potentially turn into a Magi's if this trend continues.
And Ollie at this point not having the impact that he wants. He tried to go bottom lane 2 or 3 times, but failed miserably. No, it just didn't work out for them, as Mechanics and Slimy Devil were able to run away time and time again from those tried ganks. And now he's looking into the mid lane once again with Thrll. Bisco looking to find another gank, but now Z might be in trouble, forcing his back.
So far, can they pick him up here? I don't think so. He spotted them in time, and again in that small play in the bot lane, Z plays his gravity field really well, just behind Mandago, who of course was able to get out with a jump, but this man knows his Victor.
Yeah, he played him in the first game today as well. You know, he has a pretty big ocean of champions that he can play. Victor, of course, being one of them, which makes sense. Really strong. A champion has, you know, the potential to just farm clear waves early on, and then basically do way too much damage for any enemy team to deal with in the late game. So that's a great pickup here, as he is going to go for a little bit of burst on Mandago, but now Thrll is going to go in with the engage onto Z. This is the guy they want. Another stage himself going to go wide. Z, look how fast he is with the phase rush. It's going to be too much, as they're going to go for the chase. Corki is there as well, going to miss the first missile. The damage is not going to be enough for Z to pick up anyone for himself. And they find a kill there, as they find the top turret as well, possibly, but mid turret going down.
Like all over the map, people are pushing, fighting, everything you want. And how long did it take them to kill Z? We said it at the start, he isn't mobile in the sense that he doesn't have any dashes or escapes, but he is darn fast when you have that phase rush and the movement speed that he gets from his Q. He gets out, he doesn't get out this time because he doesn't have the flash. But if he has flash and a team, I'm not sure if KVM Mechelen has the tools to kill Victor here. When you can see that they also have the Seraphine shield and everything behind that. If they have to collapse with 4 to catch him nearly here, yeah, that might be a huge problem for KVM Mechelen.
It's going to be really difficult for the team on the side of KVM to actually catch Victor in teamfights because of the movement speed and because of the peel he has. Look at all the peel with the Mega Gnar ultimate. He, of course, he has his own gravity field or whatever it's called. He has the Seraphine ult. He has Alistar punching people into the air and away. Udyr stunning people. It's going to be really difficult to catch out Victor, as now the third Drake of the game looks like they want to start on the side of KVM. Shen split pushing, has the ultimate, has the teleport, should be able to join the fight if necessary.
Of course, so far KVM picking up the Drakes, but Team Thrll picking up the Herald, which is more gold in their pockets, and you can see that in the general gold difference of these teams. However, third Drake, they are not gonna give up, but Thrll is gonna pull the trigger.
Ooh, does pull the trigger, not going to be enough. However, Shen needs to use the Stand United. Drago going to go low. Hank is using his package pretty well, but it's not going to do enough damage. Jumps back over, and it looks like this fight might go towards KVM, and Z is still alive. The one they need to pick up, they weren't able to, but they were able to bring him low enough to win the fight. Seraphine still in the wings to possibly look for a steal, as is Victor. Is it going to be enough? It shouldn't be, as they try to take it away, but it's not going to be enough, as they pick up their third dragon. They're on Soul Point.
And this is what I mean. KVM just has more threats. Drago is still looking for the kill here. Oh, that little cheese. I love it.
Somehow he knew Seraphine was there. They had no vision. So
he knows Drago is like
mind
next
reader.
Level. He has an extra piece of vision on his map, I believe. Next question mark.
So basically, Drago using map hacks has been confirmed.
He's using wall hacks. Never mind. It's not spidey senses. It's wall hacks.
Yes. Drago eats cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Damn, this guy, the cheese meister, as he eventually, he burns Seraphine's flash, which is really good because Seraphine not the most mobile champion either, and they're gonna be able to catch her a little bit easier. By the way, I have no idea what happened to Thrll in that fight. She went for the engage, and then suddenly she was back to where she started. Did she get headbutt by Alistair?
I believe so, and the fight was generally so messy, but KVM was just able to dump out more damage than Team Thrll there, because of course we said it before. Z is the only member that can really threaten them, and if he is getting zoned out by all these threats for KVM, because of course you have the stone field that Ole puts down, you have the phosphorus bomb from Corki, all this AoE damage is being put forward. Half of the team of Thrll melts, and Z is left alone, not being able to walk forward. And it is of course because KVM chooses when the fight starts. It's Bisco that goes in, Slimy Devil reacts, and then all hell unleashes, and KVM pulling through, getting that fight in, and are now on Soul Point. So Mountain Soul is within their grasp in 3 minutes.
3 more minutes, and then they're gonna have another fight at the Dragon. Perhaps maybe a little bit sooner, somewhere else along the map, as they're gonna put down some damage on QDKD, who on this Udyr hasn't really been able to do a lot yet. He's 0-2 and 3. Yes, he's 40 farm basically ahead of his jungler, 35 maybe. Has the Chem tank now as well, and now they're gonna look for an engage onto mechanics. They know he doesn't have the flash with the Weaver's Wall, not able to get anywhere away from that fight, and now they're gonna knock down the mid lane turret. The map has been officially opened, basically is what that means, and now both teams can start roaming free throughout the jungles.
And that's a value play because Drago got the flash from Seraphine earlier. They're able to do this, no way of flashing over the wall because it's not up anymore, giving KVM time to do that pick. They're not gonna flip the Baron, however, knowing what they did in the past is a great improvement. They see that Team Thrll has spotted them. QDKD is up. They're not gonna risk a smite fight there, because of course if you lose it in a game like this, that is so horrible for you. Definitely, because they are in an okay spot. Okay, they're a little bit cold behind, but it is neglectable, and they are on Soul Point, so they just need to make sure that they fight for this next dragon, because that's the real money deal. Even if they lose it, they lose a Drake, it's not the end of the world. But of course, the Baron flip, that's definitely not what you want at this stage of the game.
No, so they went for the Baron there, which was an interesting call. They thought, you know what, maybe we can do this. Victor's in the bottom side of the map. We have Teleport and Stand United up on Mortar Shen. Victor had his teleport up as well. He used it, and from the moment Victor actually TP'd in, KVM said, you know what guys, we have his teleport, there's a lot less pressure now globally from him, so we can just back off and perhaps play off of that, as now there's 2 TPs on the side of KVM, 2 TPs on the side of Thrll as well, as opposed to 3. So it's a small win for KVM, burning
Thrll.
the TP.
Thrill's putting up a trap. They have the vision control around the dragon now, so this is a good position for them to make a potential play and come back with Drake count. Seems like KVM knows that this is not safe to check here. Of course, the ward being swept there away from KVM gives them a false feeling of security. They're like, nobody's coming to clear this ward. He's gonna fetch it, but of course, this is a super tanky member. It's not the worst face check in the world either. And KVM
such a funny
playing it out really clean, not getting baited there. Thrll showing themselves, trying to poke out a little bit. So this is fine.
Oh, they had no one on the map. They knew Thrll was somewhere in a bush, and that was very well possible that it was the one where they thought they actually were. So they read the situation correctly. As this Drake has spawned, it is of course Mountain Soul if KVM managed to win the fight and pick up the Drake here. As it's going to be started off by KVM. Thrll looking for the engage here on Alistar. A great... Ooh, he flashes away from the Seraphine ultimate. Mortar is in a bit of a pickle there, as the first kill of the fight is going to go down to Thrll. KD going to look for a backline engage. They find the stun, the CC onto Mindrago. They're going to continue the chase onto Mortar as well. Pulls him away from Dragon for just a little bit. And Thrll clearly picking up this fight this time around. And that's going to be the first Drake of the game for them. KVM get engaged on. That's going to mean too much CC to get away.
And more important than the engage is that they were withered down from the start. A lot of poke sticking to Bisco there, getting hit by the Victor laser and some of the Gnar poke as well. He was 50% HP when this fight started, and of course, that being the reason he was picked up very early. Bisco on this Thrll being so important for their engages as well, not being there in the most duration of this fight, was meaning that KVM was not gonna win this. Also, Mindrago not being able to move forward and getting pinned by the Gnar at the end. It's overall a bad fight for KVM and a good setup for Team Thrll. They were really patient. They knew we have to put some poke down before we start this fight, and then they pick it up, and it is an important Drake as they deny the soul for now. Meanwhile, anyway, still poking away at Shen.
And they found Shen's flash there as well early on because of Seraphine's ultimate, which of course gives him less pressure to, you know, taunt flash into the back line onto Z's Victor as they decide to go for this Baron. The engage from QDKD, gonna stun up Thrll, gonna find a couple shields, shut down onto Victor very early on in this fight. But look at the damage returned here from the Thrll Academy guys as Hank needs to use his Valkyrie to get out of that one. Mindrago trying to 1v5 this fight, which, you know, doesn't work out 9 times out of 10. As Mortar needs to be careful that he doesn't get chased down too hard by mechanics here as he gets slowed, eats some poke as well. Look at the damage. Oh, he misses the taunt as well. This is just obnoxious. Another slow, another auto attack. And it's going to be too much damage with, you know, Moonstone and Staff of Flowing Water. That's a lot of damage, and it's just really annoying to get away from.
Oh, and the range, of course, on Seraphine. Those binds hitting you from a mile away and not able to get out of this. This means that Thrll has the opportunity to start off this Baron. Of course, KVM Esports getting running towards them. They know it's happening and they will be here for the fight. Ollie as well with the smite. Not sure if this is the best call from Thrll. They are still keeping it there at health, but I believe peeling off is the right call to make here.
Yeah, get Baron down to half HP, but there's too much poke from over the wall on the side of KVM that Thrll eventually decides to not go for it. It was a 4v5 because they had found Shen there. Eventually they decide to not completely go for it, and in 2 minutes and 20 seconds we're gonna have another dragon fight. And at this point KVM is 4,000 gold behind, which is, you know, a decent amount. So they need Corki to actually scale harder. He's 2-0-4. He's gonna be the guy who needs to do it for KVM, and he's going full AD with Sorcerer Boots. Of course, with the new Triforce, I'm not 100% sure if Corki's still that strong.
Well, it gives him attack speed generally on his items because he weaves so much spells between his attacks.
But now he went
You
for
might
shield move.
debate that he doesn't get the same value out of it as other champions might. However, Hank's still very strong. Hasn't died this game as the only member on his team. But this game is starting to look very rough for KVM just because of the amount of CC that the Thrll lineup has. As you see, Drago, he is in the fight. He's in a spot where he wants to be. He's starting his Inferno trigger, but he gets instantly interrupted by basically any champion on this squad of Team Thrll. And even MUA has bought the Stride Breaker, so he also has a slow to put on you, so make sure that you not get away. So KV they really need a dream engage, but it is QDK putting a trigger here.
They are gonna find Ollie here. Takes a lot of damage, uses his stopwatch as well, but look at Seraphine ultimate locking down so many champions by Drago against all these tanks, doing basically nothing, actually. No damage coming out from him. Okay, sure, KVM has 3 threats, but if 2 of them, one is dead and the other one doesn't do any damage, then you basically are left with one who is not able to move close to the fight and does no damage as well.
This is not looking good for KVM Mechelen, losing the fight here very convincingly against Team Thrll. Not able to do any significant damage back. This is a free Baron pickup for Thrll, and that means that they can go to the Drake and deny the soul once again. KV Mechelen really need to step it up here, finding their terms, their engages on the Thrll lineup. However, it is super hard because you have all the CC and the long range engaged from them. So this is gonna be a free Drake pickup for Thrll.
Thrll gonna pick up their second Drake of the game here, putting them on 2, of course. That's what second means. I'm stupid. And looking to, of course, in 5 minutes, go for the third one, fourth one, giving them 4 Mountain Drakes on in this game. The Samira pick not really working out for KVM. It was first picked, which in my opinion is scary because of, well, what we see here. There's so much CC and tankiness on the side of Thrll, which makes it really hard, if not impossible, for Samira to actually get anything decent down here. As Emir just chasing down the Shen, who isn't tanky enough for those W procs. But yeah, the Samira pick, first blind picking Samira, pretty scary. We've seen it up to now. She does no damage.
Engage.
Now the engage, a 4-man ult by Thrll as well. Drago once again using the ultimate through the exhaust, gonna do even less damage than it did before. And he is not gonna get taken down yet, as Seraphine ult is getting used as well. But now the first kill is gonna be found by Team Thrll. They're gonna chase on to Ollie as well. He gets taken down. Rel gets taken down. 2 inhibs should be going down here as well for Team Thrll, and this should be the game for Thrll. KVM is gonna go 0 and 2 here, as Hank tries something, but it's not gonna work out.
That team fight, this squad from Thrll doesn't take any damage. Drago played it super cleanly, did everything he could, and you can see their health bars. They have 1 member under half health. That's it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They had a lineup that just had so much defense, with of course Seraphine shielding, healing, doing everything. 1 unit especially for damage, the Victor, and the rest is just pure CC and tank stats all over the board. And of course, once you're CC'd, you can't play the game, and Team Thrll used that tactic to pick up this win against KV Mechelen Academy, leaving them 0 and 2 in this group phase.
Yeah, which at this point, of course, is not the best position to be in, meaning that the next 2 games versus PXP and Tribute, they need to win to have the possibility of ending top 2, which brings them into the quarterfinals, or even 3 and 4, which both get 100 qualifier points, which up till now they got every weekend aside from the first weekend where they made quarterfinals and had 200 points. So, these next 2 games are going to be very, very important for KVM. As the damage graphs show